Hello again and welcome back to Mimsy Park. Today we have kind of a twofold type of episode. First and foremost, today is Mike the Finder's birthday. It's January 27th, 2020, and today is his birthday. So we're gonna go see Mike today and go wish him a happy birthday, kind of hang out with him, and I wanna make this kind of a video with both of us, because today is really the last of 2 days that we have to really hang out with each other before he is off on his brand new adventure. So we are gonna go visit with him. It's going to kind of tie into another thing that I wanna touch on today, which is why Canon is still going to be my go-to camera. I've been using the Sony a7S II for the better part of, I want to say maybe 4 months now. It's probably been about 4 months that I've been using both of them. And in that time, I feel like I've really been able to kind of figure out what makes one camera really good over the other and vice versa. There's really no comparing the Canon M50 to the Sony a7S II other than one field, which would be autofocus. I take that back, two fields. Autofocus and color science. It's the thing you will always hear people talk about when they compare Canon to Sony. Now I have heard the Sony A9 is supposed to have amazing autofocus, and that's all fine and well, but at a certain point, autofocus is autofocus. When you're in a professional setting, there's nothing wrong with using this camera. This would obviously be the better. This is the professional camera when we're comparing the a7S II to the Canon M50. I don't do weddings on my M50 or shows or anything else like that other than a B camera. Even with native glass or the speed booster, the autofocus of the Sony a7S II is crap. And it's crap because it's contrast autofocus. Now let's keep in mind, this is a 5-year-old camera at this point. At the time of filming, this is a 5-year-old camera. And so the M50 has the advantage of the color science. It has the advantage of the autofocus. What it does not have the advantage of is just about everything else. The low light, when you want to talk about low light, Sony. When you want to talk about a professional product in general, the Sony. But that's also because we're talking about a crop sensor compared to a full frame. This is not some comparison video where I'm gonna go, which one is better or which one do I want to keep in general. I like both of them for specific purposes. It also does not make sense to be carrying around 2 cameras for vlogging. It doesn't make sense. It's extra equipment. It makes the bag heavier. It's just more to deal with. It makes everything take longer. Speaking of taking longer brings me to another point, the flip out screen. Right now I can see myself here. I can see that it's focused on me. We're gonna do this. I just closed the screen, which is kind of nice because now I don't have anything to look at. And I'm sure you guys have seen in videos where I get distracted and I look at the screen off to the left just because it's out of habit. I don't even have to worry about it right now. I'm not even looking at it. I don't even have to worry about it. And so what I want to do, I want to go over, I want to visit Mike. I want to spend time with Mike today for his birthday, whatever he feels like doing. I'm sure it won't be much. I do have a present for him, but I want to get his input on this too, because he is a Canon fanboy. And I didn't think I was a Canon fanboy, but I'm becoming a Canon fanboy because of my experience with Canon versus other brands. Anyway, I digress. I'm gonna get all packed up here, and I actually have a surprise for Mike today. He does not know this. I really don't have the money to get him a gift right now that I spend money on, but I do know one gift he's gonna love. I'm taking Mike's cat back to him. Not permanently. We're keeping the cat, not permanently either. I will be hanging on to the cat while he is off doing his thing. Oh, what's wrong? I think she just farted. Mike gets to see his cat today. He doesn't know it yet, but he gets to see his cat today. So, with all that said, let's go see Mike. Do you want to go see Mike? Let's go see Mike. Something despicable happened. Not despicable, unspeakable. The other cat did something. I don't know what it is. It smells bad and it's wet. That won't be coming with us. So I think we're gonna go ahead and put the equipment in first, and then we'll come back and get the cat. Oh, kitty, where are you? No, don't go under there, please. Don't make me do this. Not going to be a fun car ride, I can tell already. I promise you're gonna be happy about this when we're done. Oh, this will be fun, huh? Oh no! Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. Hello, sweetie. Hey, baby girl. Does not like the car at all. Either her or one of the other cats did something just completely unspeakable to the box she normally goes in. Literally in my lap the entire way over.
Really?
Like in my lap, the way a dog would hang its head out a window if the window were up.
I'm so happy to see you, you little jerk.
She's like, there's no other crazy animals. Oh, thank God. She was cutting anxiety farts on the way over here.
Smell right down here.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yes, we've become better friends now, haven't we? Because you have no other escape from the constant onslaught of other animals. She's acting like she knows this place and does not recognize the empty space. Yeah, it was like riding with a dog over here the whole time.
I mean, that's better than what I would have expected.
How's this going?
My tooth hurts.
Mike's birthday present to himself was a root canal. Because he's a sadist. So we have to get your monitor into this box.
Yeah.
For reference here, now granted, I'm a tiny little fella, but still this thing is about waist high. And then here is the monitor. Jesus Christ.
I've seen people on Instagram put this exact monitor through.
Okay, hang on. Put it by your feet. You're what, 6'2" you said?
6'1".
6'1"?
Yeah, it's big. It's massive.
That is so much packaging.
Okay, now.
For 2 items.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, Easter egg M&Ms with peanut butter are just M&Ms with peanut butter, except they're colored differently. Would you like a peanut butter Easter egg M&M?
Oh, okay. Well, we got everything packed up. It's pretty much done. That feels weird. We're gonna run one more load over into the storage unit, which is probably the last amount of stuff it can carry anyway. So,
Carport.
it's a storage unit. You couldn't get a car in there if you wanted to. You could fit a car in there.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a car in there.
Well, that's not what makes a carport. Accessibility doesn't make a carport. Size makes a carport.
That's not true.
No, the accessibility is the driveway. The storage part is the carport. They're separate.
No, because you can't have you can have accessibility without a carport.
Listen,
you cannot have a carport without accessibility.
You take out the roof and you rent a helicopter and it's carport. Huh?
No.
Helicopter?
No.
Carport? Fine, we'll go to the storage unit. Oh look, it's snowing. Look, Colorado's saying goodbye. Or try to keep you here. to clean because people are gonna be in here tomorrow. So this would be fun. Kind of gross.
Yeah. A little bit.
This whole thing started as like sticking with Canon versus Sony. So I want you to talk about why you prefer Canon over Sony, because you haven't really used a Sony, but you've seen the footage that comes off of my Sony, and you told me the other day you've seen other people's footage and something sticks out to you.
First of all, I've been using a Canon since I was like 14. It was my first real video camera, and that plays a huge part of it. Secondly, I dislike Sony's colors a lot. And I can always tell when somebody is shooting on a Sony because of the colors.
What about them?
I don't even know if I can verbalize what it is about them.
See, to me...
But when I notice it, when I see it, I can tell that was shot on a Sony.
I made a comment. We were still living here when I made a comment one time when I saw a video and I went, "That shot on the Sony."
Yeah.
Because I could tell, and it's almost like, especially when you grade it, you can really tell.
Yeah.
There's almost like banding in colors, and it almost looks like everybody has tetanus a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely
really
got a jaundice look to everybody.
Really bad yellows, really bad magentas.
Yeah. It's well, and the other thing is like I can't not use a flip screen. I vlog. I don't shoot short films. I don't shoot anything else but vlogs. And the way that the autofocus mixed with the flip screen on the Canons, like even right now, you're on an M50, the thing has my face.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like
I can
see
your R
it.
doesn't do
my
that.
R
right?
doesn't even do that. My ADD does, but my R does not even catch my face.
I wonder if it's
because
a
of my
crop
glasses.
sensor thing.
I don't know what it is. My phone
That's
does it.
interesting.
My EOS R does not.
Which is sad because that camera's like amazing.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic camera outside of that one thing.
Well, and that's what I was talking about earlier, was anything that I do where I'm behind the camera the whole time, I'm probably still gonna use my Sony.
Right.
I wanted to see what you said, because I feel like the reason you like Canon more than everything else is the same reason that I do, but mine's now based off of experience.
Right.
Where yours is based off of that's just what you're used to.
Yeah,
But it shows the validity of those
well, and
reasons,
again,
I
you
think.
people say this all the time. The menus are better, I think. One of the other biggest things for me is that it's just easy to use. It's like the Mac of cameras.
Yeah.
They're just easy to use.
Yes.
And you don't have to figure out all the stuff that goes along with Sony, and not to mention, that's not even talking about Canon glass. That's a huge part of it too.
Well, that's something I don't think I mentioned earlier, was that even with Sony, I still use Canon glass.
Right.
I don't own Sony glass.
Yeah.
And I have this really big internal battle with going into the Sony platform with that, when I could really keep investing in Canon glass. And if I want to use the A7S II for professional work still, I can just get a speed booster because I'm not relying on the autofocus anyway. The autofocus on that Sony A7S II is useless. I have seen other videos of people using it, but the lighting has to be right because there has to be enough contrast.
That's that specific
pixel.
That's that specific body though, right?
Yes, but that's the thing. It's a generation thing too, because it was after that when they got into the 3 series.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I've heard that the latest Sony cameras are actually really good with autofocus.
They are really good. I said this earlier in the video too. At a certain point, autofocus can only be so good.
Yeah.
It doesn't need, it needs to be as fast as it can be, but if it's between choosing a fast autofocus for the Sony, that even if it does have a faster autofocus, if it's between that and a slew of other reasons that I would pick a Canon, color science, flip out screen, autofocus, like all that stuff.
Codec too. The fact that I'm shooting 8-bit in my R internally without an external recorder to an SD card, and the fact that I can use all-eye codec, I get so much data in inside of each one of my clips, and I can color grade it for days.
Yeah.
And it won't fall apart.
If I color grade the Sony footage, it's really good to color grade, but only because of the dynamic range that's in it.
Right.
Not because of the colors,
And that's
not
more
because
that's
of
a
the
sensor
detail,
thing more
and
than it
that's
is anything
exactly my point. Most of the things I want in a camera are sensor related. Things I want that I'm not getting out of the M50 are all sensor related.
Well, and that's the reason I stopped using APS-C. I had 2 APS-C cameras before I bought this EOS R.
Was that just because you didn't realize what you could get out of a full frame?
For the most
Because you've
part,
been using cameras a lot longer than I have.
right. The first APS-C that I bought was a 7D Mark II. And I bought that just because I liked how much of a tank it was.
Yeah.
You remember that
Oh,
camera?
yeah.
It was built like a tank.
Yeah.
And the reason I switched from that to the 80D was because the 80D had the flip out screen. There was no other reason for me to switch. What changed is I went into a camera shop, and again, I haven't been using DSLRs for more than a couple years at this point. Before that, I was using video cameras for a long time.
Right.
And what I didn't realize was that you can get good glass for APS-C. You can't get great glass. And
That's true.
and
Now without an adapter.
Exactly.
And then you're still not utilizing the full.
Exactly. And there's no reason to drop that kind of money on a nice lens when you're going to put it on an APS-C sensor. For me, the EOS R is perfect. A lot of people crap all over it, but it all depends on what you're using it for. And
Right.
it's because I'm a YouTuber only. I don't do anything else. I don't take pictures.
You would use a flathead for a still.
Exactly. I only make YouTube videos. And for the EOS R, it's the perfect camera for me. It's got a flip out screen, shoots 8-bit, shoots C-Log if I want it. It's got, the battery life is actually pretty good for a mirrorless camera.
Yeah.
And it's got amazing glass.
I've heard nothing but good things
They're
about
so
that
good.
RF glass.
They're so
and
good.
like I said, I wanted to get both sides of it and everything.
Yeah.
On a totally off note, this will actually be the last video in this house. We will be doing another video tomorrow, right before you head out. But we just spent, I'm not even gonna mention the time I spent cleaning in here because it seems absolutely negligible compared to the amount of time and money and effort you put into getting this. I mean, to be fair, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So
That's the joys of being a homeowner.
yeah. Well, and especially after how it went the first time, I can't blame you for going. Every little detail needs to be there because it's the only thing keeping you here.
Yep. I will technically be homeless come tomorrow, and that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Most people, when they go on a big long road trip, have somewhere else to go after they're done with some
Base of operations.
And I don't. So
Well-
that's my only concern.
You have an extended cab pickup, so this seems that. All right, well, cool. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up with all of that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for being on the last video in this house.
Thank you for helping me clean.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you guys know what to do. If you like the videos, subscribe to them, comment, like, yada, 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 and we'll see you guys next time.
Deuces.